want to love you. You need some loving, and I'll take it there. The young thing, and now.
Hey, y'all, and thank you so much for tuning into Respectfully with Miss Pretty Young Thing. I'm your girl, PYT, and let's get into it. Y'all, I know I've been missing. I know I have not been uploading. I've been so sick. I don't know what's wrong with me. Child, it's a lot. Like, my head hurts. It hurts when I blink. I'm cold in rooms that are hot. Listen, pray for me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what God is trying to tell me right now, but I'm going to do my best to put in some content as I go. I did get my hair done, okay? So while I take the time to take these little braids out from the wig that I had on, y'all are going to keep me a little bit of company, okay? And we're going to talk about Baddies Gone Wild, all right? So before we go ahead and get into the, episode 2, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on, and don't forget to tell a friend that PYT is in the building, okay? So that being said, y'all, the latest episode that I need to talk about is Baddies Gone Wild episode 2, okay? I will be doing an episode, a video for episode 3 as well as episode 4 before we go ahead into episode 5 this next weekend, okay? So episode 2 was entitled House of Pain. Let's get into it. So the episode immediately starts off from where we ended episode 1, the premiere episode from, which is the fight between Miss Daisy Dukes and Miss Coco Shadell. Now, when it came to them two, child, it was a tussle on the rooftop, okay? So if you remember, Bahati was getting into a situation and Daisy Dukes inserted herself into it because it turned into another young lady trying to jump into it, and she immediately got attacked by Daisy because of it. So it's one of those things where at this point in time is where you kind of sort of see the forming of the clicking of Bahati and Daisy. And I was here for it because it was one of those things where it was two of the MVBs in my eyes of the first episode kind of sort of getting together or whatever the case may be. So, of course, like I said before, we have Daisy versus Coco, and let me know in the comments who you think won between them two, but it was giving a victory for Daisy Dukes, in my humble opinion, respectfully. So the ladies ended up going for 2 rounds. In my opinion, Daisy won both, okay? So by the time they finished tussling, you see Rella G's is eager beaver to go into another fight with Bahati, okay? I hate how they picking on Bahati, and at this point in time, Rella G's, you looking real corny in my eyes for coming at her crazy anyway, because remember, she was the one that came at her on the bus because she didn't like her wig. Remember that period of time where they were all making fun of Bahati's wig, and she passed her the bandana, in which Bahati did not accept. All of a sudden, you want to fight me. That was corny to me, but it is what it is. So they ended up going and tussling or whatever the case may be. Let me know who you think won out of those two. It was given tied to me. It wasn't really anything crazy to look at, but Bahati did get a hold of Rella G's shoe and threw it over the balcony, okay? So from there, Natalie is trying to shut it down while the Zeus bodyguards are kind of sort of trying to separate the girls or whatever. So the guardians are taking care of them, making sure that they, stop fighting real quick. And Natalie's letting them know, hey, we got to look for our rooms. Y'all over here tussling on the rooftops or whatever the case may be. And we still don't know where the hell y'all are going to be staying while we are here. So let's just pause on that real quick. Let's go ahead and put a pin in it and check out this house. So the ladies immediately take off running to find their rooms. First people to find their rooms are Gloss Up and Hurricane M, which they end up getting a room together or whatever. Hurricane M pops her issue. The confessionals basically saying that she is here to run up a check. She don't really care about the size of the bed, size of the room, none of that. She's on her mature-ish, just, here to be a baddie who has gone wild. And here to collect her check. That's about it. Okay. So the next person to have selected her room is the person that I consider to be the grandma of the group, because I feel like her age does not match her features, if y'all know what I mean. But Cupcake ends up finding her a room in the house, okay? Cupcake is popping it in the confessionals, basically saying that she got the master bedroom and she's here for it. The person that took the other bed in the master bedroom is TT. I want to say TT got a king-size bed in the room, while Cupcake got a queen-size bed in the thing. It just looked like, Cupcake bed did not belong, but it is what it is. I guess whoever designed the house, well, whoever furnished the house, put extra beds in it for the sole purpose of Baddies Gone Wild, kind of sort of expanding it and adding beds to the extra rooms or whatever the case may be. But either or, they both were planning on sharing the master bedroom, or so they thought. Next, we have Coco, Oxy, and Shay, who all end up finding a room together, or whatever the case may be. They all three are from the Midwest, and they feel like that's a good idea to get the room with 3 beds in it, just so that they could spend time together, get to know one another, and I guess rep your area together. They, naturalized baddies, Midwesters, or whatever the case may be. So they ended up picking up their room together. So everybody's getting their rooms, picking their roommates and everything like that. Then you see Daisy in a room with Bahati, with what looked like 2 queen beds and a little, room or whatever the case may be. Bahati says in her confessional, look, the master bedroom belongs to me. Okay, I done fought the most girls in the house. I done popped the most ish in the house thus far. I don't feel like going after it tonight, but tomorrow we rise at dawn. We are going to be fighting at dawn. I want my master bedroom tomorrow, okay? And that's where the trouble is going to lead to. But from there, of course, Natalie calls them back downstairs after they pick out their room. It's time for what Natalie called a baddie toast o'clock. She ain't know that they already had their chant together, but, we gonna make her privy to that in a second. So from there is when Natalie basically announces to the ladies that it's going to be a audience vote on a weekly basis for who the MVP of the episodes are, and I guess whoever wins the most times is going to be voted the most valuable baddie of the season, thus winning the $50,000. YTT had the audacity to come into her confessionals talking about something. She got this in the bag. She already knows she's going to win the $50,000. Girl, we don't too much mess with you like that. I'm finna keep it P with you, okay? Finna keep it a buck. We do not too much mess with you like that, okay? All right, calm down. Sit in the corner. So from there, they take a toast of some champagne or whatever the case may be. Remember, when we were in the cars still, Daisy had made up Wild Bees Take Shots or whatever, and they immediately start chanting that. Natalie looking like she trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Like, okay, these girls made up their own thing. They don't really need me. Like, they got this in the back. Yes, they do, Natalie. Go home. Let them do what they do, or whatever the case may be. Wild Bees Take Shots or whatever. Big shout out to them for giving, Daisy her credit for coming up with it in the first place or whatever. So then from there, Natalie, of course, is asking the ladies if they're good. You good? Everybody good now? Are we good? And then from there, I guess Coco was giving Daisy the eyes, and she asked her, are you good? And she was like, yeah, I'm good, but do you want to fight? And immediately Coco Chanel is ready. She's on and popping. From there, y'all could see how the fight resulted by her confessional look. Okay, pretty girl, beautiful gowns. But that eye, though, Daisy definitely came for that eye. All right, so they're going in for another fight. All of the girls are moving out of the way, and immediately Daisy goes charging. When I tell you Daisy goes charging, like, I don't know if there's a better way to kind of sort of, state that. She gets her up against a wall, like, child, she splacked her up against the wall. It took I want to say 3 Zeus security guards to finally get her off of her. And by the time she got her off of her, there was no more wig. The eye was no longer white. It was just like, it is what it is, child. I felt bad for Coco because the eye was busted on top of the fact that the red coloration was happening or whatever. So then from there, the ladies get back together to do their wild bees take shots, okay? And they go in for another one. Now Natalie over here acting crazy, talking about somebody, y'all okay? I guess she trying to ask them to see if there's any other girls that wanted to fight or whatever the case may be, but it is what it is. So then from there, yeah, Nellie's baby is kind of sort of peeping that Shay kind of sort of got some attention or whatever the case may be, looking like she strapped up and ready to go for another go around. Remember they fought in episode 1. So now Janelle's baby versus Shay. Okay, they end up going together or whatever the case may be. I ain't gonna hold you. Shay got some hands. Okay, because she was dragging Janelle's baby by the head. Some of the ladies were trying to step in Cupcake, trying to separate them or whatever the case may be. Janelle's baby. I don't know what happened, but Shay snatched you up, girl. But at the end of the day, Shay was with the pull hair whole time situation, and I didn't even know what was going on. Natalie didn't know what was going on. Natalie was just like, y'all got beef too? Scratching her head, trying to figure out, what was going on. And that's when they kind of sort of started breaking out for Natalie that Shay got a problem with the ladies for not having to go through an audition process and being selected from their audition tape or whatever the case may be, which is still them, going through auditions. They just got accepted from the preliminaries instead of having to go in person. Like, you still got selected. I just feel like the argument of that is annoying. I can understand, harboring some sort of energy or venting to your homegirl about it, like, dang, like, or even popping ish in the confessionals and then us kind of sort of just talking about it in the reunion scenes or whatever the case may be. But to argue straightforward about it, like, from the very beginning and beef with girls over how you both ended up in the same situation is kind of dumb to me. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Shay and her argument as to, her having to go through, phase 1 through 10, while some ladies ended up skipping the line at phase 3, skipping the line at phase 7, or whatever the case may be. Now, one thing I could say about Shay is a lot of the people in the streets are talking and basically saying that, her confessional look is not matching what we are seeing on the TV screen. Now, what I will say is this. Shay is very pretty. Shay dolls up really, really nice. I love her hair in her confessionals. Her makeup is on point in her confessionals. The top goes together. It's giving unicorn vibes or whatever the case may be. But, child, a lot of people were having a hard time figuring out whether or not that was you or who the hell that was or whatever the case may be. We going to have to do better with that, miss. We going to have to do better with that. So then from there, the ladies end up finding the confessional room. Okay, they start recording a confessional. Okay, they were lit. They were loving it and all that stuff like that. Then from there, we get a nice little poppin'-ish confessional from Ming Lee, basically saying that everybody is PUSSY, throwing up the losers sign, the L in their hands. Listen, these girls need to go to bed. Because it was a lot of ish talking. But nonetheless, they're happy to be in the house. So from there, Cupcake, Religies, and TT are all three in the master bedroom, kind of sort of discussing fighting Bahati and how they want to handle her in the house or whatever the case may be. TT is saying that she's good off of fading her anymore because she felt like she did her big one. First of all, Cupcake disrespectful calling her Australia. Her name is Bahati, not Australia, okay? Just because she's from down under don't mean that you can call her outside her name like that, okay? So yeah, TT said she's good off that or whatever the case may be. She did what she needed to do. Religies walking around with this big ass scar across her face, literally looking like Scar from Lion King. That girl almost took out her eyeball or something. Like, whoa. It was a little crazy. And, of course, Cupcake saying her opinion or whatever the case may be. So in Run Room, they're discussing, I want to say it's Jaden versus Hurricane M that happened on the bus or whatever the case may be. And how Jaden feels like she, had to do her big one because it was unprovoked. How the girl was coming at her or whatever the case may be. And in the other room, we got Gloss Up that's discussing Daisy and how Daisy had ended up popping, was it Shay? Yes, Shay in her face because of the whole how I got selected for the show situation or whatever the case may be. So, of course, now they're discussing all of the fights or whatever the case may be. We get into Rella G's doing her confession or whatever, basically saying that she don't care about getting scratches or whatever, 5 squabbles, 1 sneak or whatever the case may be. She still look good. She liked scratches. She looked like a warrior or whatever the case may be. And, child, to each his own, child. You're not going to do that to my face. So then from there, Bahati is on the rooftop with Daisy, and along comes what's this young lady's name? Jaden. And Bahati is basically saying that she got to catch one with Jaden because she feels like she tried to jump in or whatever the case may be. Because when she was on the sprinter, Jaden was laughing in the midst of everybody talking ish or whatever the case may be. Now, I feel like Jaden kind of announced that she did not want no problems with her, whatever the case may be, especially with Daisy sitting right next to her. And she was just like, oh, I'm sorry for laughing at you, or whatever the case may be. And they ended up hugging it out and just leaving it alone. Listen, I feel like that was a wise decision by Jaden because you don't want to mess with nobody that's in cahoots with Daisy. I'm just saying. That's what it's giving right now. That's what it's giving. Let me know in the comments whether or not you feel like it was PUSSY of them to kind of sort of leave it alone, or whether or not you wanted to see like one more squabble on their behalf. I felt like it was perfectly fine for them to, this is my opinion, for them to end the beef or whatever the case may be, because there's plenty of episodes, plenty of time, plenty of space and opportunity for real situations to happen. And I don't feel like that they should be scratching each other's eyes out for a giggle. Because, child, we at our house laughing at the same thing she was laughing at. So we can't really say that, she shouldn't have, woulda, coulda, shoulda, when we doing the same thing. That's just my opinion. So from there, the ladies decide to jump into the pool, okay? They get into the pool with all their clothes on. It's just time to relax and, do our thing, okay? But, child, only one of them did not get the memo when it came to jumping in the pool with their clothes on, okay? She was a fairy. She was a fish, okay? Because Shay was the only person that was giving Jocelyn's cabaret in that water, okay? She took everything off. Everything off, okay? But either or, everybody was together. And it looks like the only person that was interested in Shay's birthday suit, okay, was somebody that I did not expect, okay? Somebody that I did not expect. Onika, Mirage, your little sister is over here separating from the others, isolating herself from the others by way of having, a little moment on the side. So they end up leaving the pool to go to the hot tub, and they end up just like, child, having a little makeout session, a little mwah mwah or whatever the case may be. Child, I don't know. Ming Lee, what's going on? But either or, everybody had a first class show to that thing. And it was right there on the big screen for all of them to watch, or whatever the case may be. So it is what it is. I don't know, child, because I heard that they don't talk like that anymore. So it's like, did they try to do something, or was the alcohol just seeping through their pores? Because if I'm not mistaken, I feel like they're the two youngest in the house, or somewhere in the top of the youngest names in the house. So maybe it was just one of those things where Ming was hype, she was hype. They were just like, F it. Because Ming Lee in her confessional was just like, oh, you got it, you look good, you look good. So I think she was just lit. It was just given, child. I don't even want to emphasize it no more. So, anywho, next phase. So then from there, Jaden and Hurricane M, end up going back and forth a little bit. I guess tension was already in the air from episode 1, because episode 1 is when Hurricane M basically said that she already knew Jaden previously, because her not so chocolate mama was spewing racial slurs. And at the time, she didn't know that it was her mom, because she introduced herself as her cousin. She didn't introduce herself. Jaden introduced her as her cousin, which is weird, because it's like, that's your mom and you call her cousin. I don't know. She probably probably thought it was going to be a different outcome. But either or, Jaden is just like, Jaden basically doesn't want to fight. And M is like, if you don't want to fight, then why are you in my face? And it is what it is. But it's given that they have to do a one-on-one, because at this point in time, they both kind of sort of singled each other out, I mean. So then they end up fighting. Child. The fight was a little ignorant. That's the best way for me to put it. Because I don't know why they would put, the pool cameras where they did. But it was giving, it might have been, at the edge of the house. Because Hurricane M seemed to have been tagging Jaden. But there's no way to really tell from the side until, the ladies are trying to break it up, and all you see is hair being pulled and ladies being separated. But according to the ladies' feedback, Emery, Hurricane M, you was doing it, okay? I don't know. But I understand where Emery's coming from, because it's one of those things where it's just like, we don't really have our issue is in the past. And you looking at me like you still, want that. But at the same token, don't deny the fact that we have a circumstance either. Because I'm one of those people, I'm not necessarily a grudge holder, but I kind of sort of have the mind of an elephant when it comes to circumstances that I go through. I don't know how to describe that. But because I wouldn't have been able to continue with Baddies without bringing up that situation. So I kind of get her. So now, of course, in true Natalie Nunn form, it's time for them to get ready for the club. So then from there, they end up making it to the club or whatever. And as soon as they open the doors to this dang Sprinter, Shay comes tumbling out. So that gave me all the evidence I needed to know that she was intoxicated as hell when she and Ming Ling had their moment, okay? But nonetheless, they get out and start to head over to, the little VIP-ish area where they're going to be at, or whatever the case may be. Now, the confessionals were confessionaling. Basically, Coco Chanel was just like, oh, well, I did not get a chance to, do my big one earlier. I had to put my little shades on. I wasn't really in the mood to club, but I can't let these girls, catch me slipping type attitude, or whatever the case may be. What's this girl's name? Cupcake over here shaking her boobalicious boobs. When I tell you, when she lifted her shirt, I was I'm still a little speechless about when Cupcake lifted her shirt. She got like 3 belly buttons. I was trying to figure out whether or not that was a surgical scar or whether or not it was just like lumpy there. Like, what have you been through? I need to know your story, because that couldn't have been a surgical scar. And if it was a surgical scar, that surgery was not done in America, because that up and down line that I saw from, your freaking xiphoid process all the way down to your groin area, it wasn't making any sense to me. I don't know. I didn't know. But either or, as far as the ladies get up, Bahati did mention that she feels like the ladies were a little more casual than what she is used to in Australia when ladies go get ready for the club. So, and I can understand that, but it is the first night and it is an outdoor looking club. So I definitely understand like wanting to wear something that isn't as, sheer, tight fitting and all of that. Cause child, I wouldn't want to wear my good cloths to an outdoor club or whatever the case may be. So the outdoor club was lit. They were lit. They were doing it. They were shooting booty. It was outside, okay? So the ladies are dancing per usual. So fast forward, they get back to the house or whatever. And Cupcake decides to have a conversation on the side with our girl. Okay? Because she's trying to resolve the situation with Bahati, which honestly, I'm glad that was happening, because it's one of those things where Cupcake, I don't think you can handle pressure with Bahati and Miss Daisy Dukes, our girl, okay? So they end up going into like the downstairs half bathroom. I guess it's a half bathroom. It gave half bathroom vibes situation or whatever the case may be, to just have a moment to discuss without cameras around. Jaden's dumb ass comes stumbling and opens the door in the middle of their conversation. So I guess Daisy is signaling like, yo, we having a conversation in here. Close the door. Let us finish what we talking about. But Jaden was giving nosy vibes and was just like, no, and kept opening the door. So Daisy pushed her. She opened the door again, and Daisy pushed her. Why this girl decided to sneak Daisy, punched her? Child, Daisy had a field day. Daisy made her way with her. Daisy looks like she punches with all her mind, body, and spirit, okay? She was tearing this little girl up, okay? Like, child, I don't know. But I don't blame her, because it's one of those things where, like, why did you throw a punch at her in the first place? So now Daisy is pissed because she popped all her nails after the club or whatever, and now she got to reheat all her food. Listen, you can't get in between, a big girl and her food. I'm a big girl at heart, so I understand where she was coming from when she said that. But honestly, I don't feel bad for that situation, because it's one of those things where, like, child, curiosity killed the cat, okay? And the cat was Jaden, okay? Should have brought your cat upstairs to your room, okay? Just, you need to figure it out. So then by this time, all the ladies, of course, have slept after the club, woke up in the morning, and Daisy woke up with a chip on her shoulder, okay? Because Daisy woke up saying that she had a very uncomfortable slumber in her little twin-size looking bed, sharing the room with Bahati. So they woke up, they woke up ready, all right? So they freaking get up saying that they had an uncomfortable sleep. They kind of sort of had a short conversation. Like, Daisy's like, yo, I didn't like sleeping in this bed. I didn't like sleeping in this room. This room is uncomfortable. I can think of and Bahati's just like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Because I'm thinking what you thinking. So they both thinking the same thing. Let's go take up the master bedroom. So they head upstairs to the room that Cupcake made her own as the master bedroom, with the spare that I think TT had on the side. And Daisy comes up with the name that was on the door, adds her name to the door, and says, I'm coming out because we taking over one master at a time, okay? So then from there, Bahati's just like, look, I think she called her stank cake or cup. I don't know what she called cupcake. All I know is she came in, she declared war. She said, this is my room, and there's nothing that you could do about it. And that's just what it is. And I guess Cupcake wasn't giving her the answers that she wanted. And Bahati immediately starts tagging her. First and foremost, Cupcake, I need you to figure it out. And I need you to figure out quick, because there's no reason for Bahati to be as small as she is and for her to be able to drag you from the East Coast to the West Coast, from Australia to Brazil, okay? From Australia to South America, 2 different continents. That was a continental ass beating. Like, it made no sense. Like, there's no reason why other girls should be separating y'all and for you to not be coming out on top. Like, Bahati continued to pounce on this girl, and it was just like, child, I don't know. And then from there, Daisy is having conversations. They just, child, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Daisy was just like, I don't know what to tell y'all, but we here. Cupcake put her name on the thing. Freaking Bahati gets in the bed, and that is, I guess, what was TT's bed. And then Cupcake is just like, get out my bed, and immediately starts coming for Bahati. Bahati starts tagging her, jumps on her head, starts hitting the mess out of her, or whatever the case may be. And it was just like, child, Cupcake, you fight very underwhelmingly. And Bahati, I appreciate you for standing up for your rights. It's just crazy to me how they could just crash this room as if they didn't already pick the room that they're in. But let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments how you felt about this little squabble or whatever the case may be. Because, child, I don't know. But Bahati was hilarious in the confessionals, mocking her, talking about some, stop it, Bahati, stop it. Stop. But listen, Bahati was like, bitch, stop me. Stop me. If you want me to stop, then stop me. It was so funny. So Bahati fought her again. Basically, Bahati is 3-0 against Daisy for day 2, okay? But I don't know what to say. They thought that Daisy and her had planned it, but it's literally one of those things where they woke up in the morning and just wanted the room. Bahati had said the night before that she wanted the room, but she wasn't trying to fight about it because she had fought all of the other ladies or whatever, which is understandable, at least in my head, okay? So Daisy was just like, at the end of the day, like, I was uncomfortable. I'm just, I'm ready to get this bed or whatever the case may be. And TT was just like, look, if y'all think y'all get my room, yeah, we can run it. And they over here trying to choose beds or whatever the case may be. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments how you feel about the Daisy and Bahati takeover of the room. I personally love their little duo. The timing was weird when it came to the rooms, and the emphasis was a lot of the episode, but it is what it is. So then from there, the tension grows thick with TT and Daisy, because Daisy's just like, look, I'm sleeping in this bed, and immediately charges at her. When I tell you Daisy's fighting face would have had me running across the room, like, what? Her eyes get wide, and then she just charges at you, and it's just like, whoa, what is happening right now? But child, TT did not stand a chance, okay? And that basically is the end of the episode. Let me know in the comments how you felt about that. Let me know in the comments how you felt about that. And then from there, we get into what's going to happen next week. So basically, they end up having like a baddie team meeting about the beds or whatever the case may be, discussing how we gonna figure out who's taking the master bedroom or whatever the case may be. And TT immediately calls out Bahati. And Bahati wasn't doing bad against TT. I'm not gonna hold you. At least not in the preview, okay? So then from there, Hurricane M has her ways with, what's the naked girl name again? Shay, the one with the pretty unicorn confessional hair, but the, I don't know, looking like a Jocelyn's Cabaret girl from the rest of Nothing against Jocelyn's Cabaret Girls, but you naked all the time. All right? What else? Ming Lee basically feeling like she had a problem with Shay. After the fact, the lovers are now becoming enemies or whatever because they brought it to her attention that about the celebrity thing or whatever the case may be, and apparently Shay had sent something on the side to one of the other ladies. Do we know it to be true? Who knows? I don't know. I don't like the way Ming handled it in the previews or whatever the case may be, but we got what we got and we saw what we saw. And we will see it on the next episode that we get to talk about, which is episode 3 or whatever. But let me know in the comments how you felt about the episode. And on a scale of 1 to 10, the first episode was a little better. This episode had a little more meat and potatoes to it, though. So I think I gave the first episode a 8. I could give this one a 7.5. And the only reason why is because there was a lot of emphasis on, like, I don't know, the side dialogue, I guess you can say. And I feel like the parts that I wanted to see more of, we couldn't because the camera angles were not camera angling. I do see that the Zeus security guards are, they giving Security Bay overtime. Security Bay is that beautiful lady. They giving her overtime. Big Ant is on a break. He is viewing and understanding and being one with nature and, across Brazil. Okay, get into it. He's on paid leave or something because I do not see that man like that. What else? I thought personally that it was strange that they wanted to take over the master bedroom the day after, but I don't know. Everybody was scrapping so much the first episode and the first day that it kind of sort of makes sense as to them saying, all right, I'll create problems tomorrow because I've already been a problem today. Let me, concoct something to do tomorrow because it ain't happening today or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the reasoning in my head or whatever the case may be. I mean, I get where Daisy is coming from. It was an uncomfortable sleep. She's the biggest girl in the house. She wants the biggest bed in the house so that she can spread out comfortably. But it doesn't change the fact that you chose your room. Like, what? Like, you went in there with pride and said, this is where me and Bahati are sleeping. So to come the next day and just be like, you know what? Never mind. F all that. I feel like no matter how tired they were, no matter how many fades that they got into, they should have just been standing on 10s in that very moment or whatever the case may be. Now, as far as the most valuable baddie goes, it's giving Bahati / Daisy. Okay, the duo we never thought that we wanted, but here it is. Okay, at least for these, couple episodes. Because, child, you know how quick people are to turn against each other. But either or, I think this is a shared effort. But I'm definitely voted for Bahati when it came to the airing of the episode and my original opinion or whatever the case may be. But I do enjoy Daisy on my screen. I do enjoy Bahati on my screen. Let me know in the comments who you chose for the MVP. Now, there wasn't a lot of emphasis with some of the other girls, like Gloss Up. Are we still in the building, girl? Because she has not really made her presence a present yet. I feel like she's just there. She's part of the cast, but is on her M. And what I mean by that is she's boring. Like, I don't know. I was hoping to get to know her personality a little more. I only know her because of, Shabuya, I think the name of her song is, whatever the case may be. And I know her as Glorilla's friend or whatever. So it's one of those things where, like, I want to get to know her as a person. But we got, they're going to have like 25 million episodes anyway. So I'm hoping as time comes, we're going to get a chance to get to know her more. But let me know in the comments how you felt about the episode. Let me know in the comments how you felt about the episode. But I appreciate y'all for taking the time to watching this with me. I appreciate the time, y'all taking the time to break down my hair with me. It's time for me to go wash it. Like, comment, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. Tell a friend to tell a friend that PYT is in the building. I appreciate you so much. And thank y'all so much for watching PYT TV respectfully.